Hi, everyone. Welcome back to this podcast. And today I am here for a new little episode. First of all, I wanted to make a little disclaimer about the noise that you guys are going to hear. It is not the most soundproof place that we are in. We're in India right now. And this comes with some consequences. But other than that, that's just a little side note. Other than that, I'm here with a new guest. I'm here with Maggie.
Hi.
And we're gonna explain a little bit the background on how we met, but we decided to do a sort of little episode on Maggie's journey towards, I would say, broad term would be spirituality, but we will dive into this. So that's the little plan for today. I think you can start by just presenting yourself and explaining who you are and what are you doing in India.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Maggi. I'm 33 years old and I live in Germany. But I have this big Polish roots. And right now I'm traveling through Asia since 3.5 months. And I was in Nepal and Sri Lanka and Thailand, and now I'm here in India, where I met Sasha at a volunteering.
Maggie, I decided to ask you about, doing this episode because it's something that I noticed immediately in you. Like you immediately started talking about, your meditation or how you were guided, how you did all of these teachings and lessons and how you're still learning. And honestly, I think the first time I stepped back and was like, oh, this is a real thing is when the first night, instead of having a moment and just chill, when the host asked you, hey, like, let's play a game, you were like, sorry, I need to go practice. And I was like, oh wow. And actually, like, I think this is the first time I realized, I was like, wow, she's really into that, and that's really interesting, and I would like to learn more about this. But so I was wondering, yeah, how did you start being interested in all of this, and was there some specific episode of your life or event that happened that brought you to that?
Yeah, so I think we have to start with a very dark chapter of my life, but that's okay. It's also part of the whole journey. So I think I always knew that I have a lot of emotions and I'm feeling intense feelings. And yeah, I was, I had a really, really hard childhood. So I can say that I was lost for a long, long time and didn't know what is going on with myself, like with my thoughts, with my character, with being me. And then around 2 years ago, I started a therapy, which was, I have to say, like one of the best decisions of my life, because I started to realize that all the things I never talked about and put it away, like, oh, maybe someday I will just think about it, but right now I don't want it. It feels very uncomfortable. I think I always knew that someday all of these things will come back to me in a very, again, uncomfortable way. And when I started to talk about all of my topics, issues, and problems in my therapy, after some time, I got into a very, very bad depression. It was honestly like the worst part of my life, I would say, because literally my body was saying like, okay, this is enough. And I just want to crash, how do you say it? Like, I just want a break, you know? And it was not about being sad, because sadness is a feeling, but depression is your whole body saying sorry for but fuck you, I don't want to be this character anymore. I don't want to be this avatar you created for so long. And I didn't listen to my thoughts and my intuition, and so my body was saying, okay, that's it now. you have to rest. You have like, depression is also for me like a deep rest, like depression. You know, it's always like in
I
my head
never
like a
thought about
deep
that.
rest. And yeah, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I was stuck in my body, like also my thoughts, my soul, and my body like were in three halves. You know, it was really really bad. I was super scared because I also felt very lonely. I was scared that this is my life now, and it's gonna be forever. Um, and then after some weeks, when my energy got back a little bit, I was like, okay, I have like two options. I can like figure this out and just return to my old life with all the energy that I could bring right now, or I can try to like find other things that will help me. Of course, the therapy was also very important, but yeah, like on top to this therapy. And I think this was like the door opening to this whole spiritual things coming to me. And
So
yeah,
you chose option number two.
yeah. So I always knew that yoga, which I started like in COVID, but just like, you know, at home with YouTube, I felt good, but with a very big ego. Like, I have to be flexible, I have to be strong, I have to like do all these poses perfectly. And I was getting angry when I didn't see the progress. And yeah, but I somehow always felt good with yoga. And also during this period of depression, I did a lot of yoga sessions. But I started to do not the strong vinyasa power flows, but going to, for example, yin yoga, which is a very calm and slow kind of yoga. And it helped me like a lot. Also, I started to do meditations and realized that I'm like very open to it. I can get into a very deep state of meditation where I also see some colors and some mandalas because I'm a very visual person. And yeah, I was like, oh my god, this is like a very good way to calm down, because I also had problems with my heart. It was beating like crazy. And yeah, my I had to like find a way to calm my body first. And this was like yoga and meditation. And yeah, that's where when it all started. And after a while, where I realized that it's really helpful, I also had this thought like about my emotions. Maybe I can also share it.
Yeah, of course.
So for me, it was like, if I came to this world as this celestial being, like this tiny, tiny little human, to this big, big world, and like God or the universe or someone said like, hey, do you want to go to Earth for like an incredibly short amount of time, like a blip, and experience like all the emotions? Yeah, you can get every emotion, like anxiety, heartbreak, but you also euphoria, joy, love, all of it. Do you want to do this? And I was like, now I'm getting emotional, but yeah, I will do it. I want to do this. And whenever I get stuck in this like very intense emotions, I try to like step back and say, although this is a very uncomfortable feeling, I'm somehow so grateful that I have the capacity to feel it. And this was like a very beautiful thought for me, like to say it's okay to feel all of these emotions. And I'm super grateful that my body and my mind can handle it somehow. And yeah, that was like one of the first thoughts I had about it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it's an amazing, I think, way of perceiving your emotions, because we often feel guilty about feeling something, especially when it's very strong. We feel like we're not normal, or how can we feel that, or we shouldn't feel that, or we're trying to, find logical ways of explaining it, which is impossible because emotions are not rational. But it's true that just, being grateful for feeling is already a lot.
Yeah.
So I agree with this state of mind, and I think it is a beautiful way of seeing it. In terms of meditation, because you said that that helped you, I have this. Every time I talk about with someone about meditation, the first thing is most of the time, oh yeah, I tried. No, not for me. That's the first general thought that comes to mind when you think about meditation. And so I was wondering, how did you get into this? Because most of the people, they say, yeah, I try to sit, but it's like, or boring, or I cannot concentrate. So do you have any advice on how to start, or should everyone start meditation? Like, what do you think?
So for me, because I was also not experienced in this topic, maybe it's good to mention the next step of my
Yeah.
journey, because then I started to have this big feeling that I also want to share this knowledge and these experiences with others, and that's why I decided to do yoga teacher training. And the good thing about this was that meditation was also a big part of this training. So I had a lot of help, like with the yoga teachers I had. They were amazing, and so they showed us different ways to meditate. They also told us all the time that it's really important to start with tiny, tiny little steps. Especially when you're a person with many thoughts, an overthinker, or you have the feeling that you always have to do something. It's not good for your body and your mind to say, okay, now I will start meditating and I have to sit here for 30 minutes or for an hour, although I didn't have any
Expectation.
experiences with it. So then you get, of course, frustrated. You said, oh, what is this? Nothing's happening with me, and it's so boring, and I don't want to do this. And it's also this beautiful part of this journey. You start it, and then immediately, because you're not used to it, some parts of your body are like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. I don't know this. And I want to get to my old routines back. So no, it's a no. Um, so it's really important to start with really small steps, for 5 minutes, just sitting there, finding a very comfortable position, because it's also hard to sit there for
Yeah.
30 minutes because your leg can how do you
Get
tell?
sore, I think.
Yeah, yeah, or yeah. So you have to find a safe space first. So you also need to find a meditation which fits to your needs, to your body, to your mind. So you can try different things, like starting with maybe just a YouTube video, which is 5 minutes, 10 minutes in the morning. Then it's important to find your needs. Maybe you need a guided meditation if you're having all these thoughts and it's hard for you to sit there just in silence. It's a really good way to have a guided meditations. There are female voices, male voices. There are meditations where they create images, so you can concentrate on the things they're saying, and you can go step by step into this meditation. I had a very, very special experience, and one of my first meditations was crazy. It was about going some steps, the steps had different colors, and in the end you arrived going through a door, and there was this beautiful landscape with flowers and grass, and you felt warmth and everything. And for me, that was so crazy. I saw my inner child sitting there. Although it was not part of the meditation, I could see like myself in a like 5 years old or four, waiting for me there. And I started to cry during this meditation because this little me was smiling at me, like inviting me to like hold her hand. And we were there for like some minutes together. And then after that, she waved goodbye. And then I stepped back through this door and all the steps back, like the red step, blue step. And that was like so special, and it happened like out of nowhere, meeting my inner child. And I think for some people it sounds a little bit weird and crazy, but for me it was like heartwarming. Like it opened my eyes that there is this inner child waiting for me, and she's still there, and she's like inviting me to be friends with her, and not like being like villains or like pushing me away. So yeah, you if you're open, then beautiful things can happen during the meditation. But as I said, it takes some time. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
I would
it
love to
was.
meet my inner child.
Yeah.
Going on to this journey of meditation, when we met, you talked about your experience here in India. No, it wasn't in India. No, sorry, in Thailand, the Vipassana.
Yeah, Vipassana in Thailand. Yeah.
Can you just explain to everyone what it is and what was your experience with that?
Yeah. So the Vipassana is when you go to a monastery. Like it's really cool because it's most of the time for free. So you get a accommodation and food, and you can live with the monks. But you of course have to adapt to their rules. So for example, we had to wear white like uniforms. There's no meat. You have to participate in all the meditations. So it's not like, because for some people, I think they are like, oh, it's a retreat, but it's not. It's a very serious thing, and they also take it very seriously, but they are very open for, yeah, people who want to experience these kind of things. And we had to wake up very early, like at 5 a.m. after
Wow.
yeah, after a very hard night because the beds were so uncomfortable. But also this was part of this whole experience. Um, and then yeah, you have like an offering for the monks, so you offer them food, and then you all like have food together, like breakfast, for example, and everything is in silence. So you are not allowed to talk. We could have our mobile phones, but if you wanted to do it like the
Real way.
yeah, then it's also good to yeah, don't have social media and everything. And then we were singing together like mantras. We were praying together. We were meditating, like walking meditations during through the forest, sitting meditations, meditations where you lying on the ground, and you go to bed very early, and you just go back to yourself. Like, I think the beautiful thing about Buddhism is also what I really like is, I think many people are searching for validation in outside of themselves, like in their job, success, money, in their relationship, in I don't know, in our world there are so many things outside of us that like we are searching for validation, for self-worth in it. But the problem is if one of these things like is gone because I don't know, you lost your job, or someone
Yeah.
yeah, your partner is leaving you, then automatically it happens that your self-worth and your self-love is like gone. Yeah, it's because you were searching for it in the outside. So
And Buddhism is about
yeah,
inner.
Buddhism is about like in best case like quit all of them that, but of course it's not always possible. But in my case, yeah, I ended up my relationship, I quit my job, and then you and it's a really, really hard process. You have to like start searching for validation inside yourself. And this is like such a difficult part of all of this, because if you always search for it like in the outside, and suddenly you're like, oh, now I will find myself, and I will just listen to my inner voice, and then yeah, I will get a lot of self-worth and self-love. And this sounds like so simple, but it's the hardest part. And I would say that for me, I'm like at the very beginning of it still, like, and you can find it in silence, you know, when you sit down, when you meditate, when you try to connect with your heart, with your breath, with your soul, with your mind. And I'm so convinced that your body will tell you what you need, and everything. And it sounds like this calendar like quote, but I'm super convinced also that everything that you need is already inside of you, but you have to find it again, you know?
It's true that we are living in a world where I feel most people are very disconnected from themselves. First of all, you talked about silence. Honestly, when do people take a moment of silence? That almost never happens. You start your day surrounded by people. You end your day surrounded by people. You start your day with your phone. So it's not, even if it's surrounded online, it's still surrounded, you know. People don't like silence, so they put music while walking.
Yeah.
People, you know, watch a movie late at night because let's not just, what are we going to do in bed and just like sit?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's true. I feel that silence has been ignored for a long part, but silence is also a way of listening to yourself. And about what you said about, you know, inner self validation, I feel that society is trying to move towards this because we find so many nowadays like influencers that talk about, you know, you're worth it, positive affirmation in the morning, and then well, all of these like which is, I'm not saying that it's all good. I listened to some of them, and I, at first I liked it, then I thought it was very egocentric because it was okay, I am perfect, I am good, I am self-worth, I am blah. And for me it's not about, well, it's just, that's just my perspective. It was not by repeating it that I would believe this, you know. It was more about doing a sort of deep reflection. But I know that it helps some people. But I'm just saying that I think society is trying to move towards that, but the silence part is still very much
Yeah, it is.
put
And also,
aside.
if you are in this silence, then it's not that you feel like this relief immediately. I started like crying because I was again overwhelmed, like by being in this silence, being with myself, because we are so disconnected. It also is like, yeah, it's really overwhelming to start meeting yourself again. And it
Oh, I
also,
think I would be very uncomfortable
yeah.
being like in a, and especially you did it for 3 days, right? But in
Yeah.
reality, it's even more.
Yeah, normally it's 10 days. So
10 days of silence.
yeah, that's hard. So 3 days were really hard, but like 10, I want to try it someday, but I think you also have to be a little bit like mentally stable. For me, it's like, yeah, I think it's important to have a little bit of stability to do this. And I think there are many people that are like, oh, I would, oh, again, about the ego, like the ego. Oh, I will do this. I can do this. The Vipassana 10 days, that's no problem. And then, yeah, it can get very uncomfortable because, yeah, you always have to be ready for this also. Yeah.
How did you come back to real life after that?
Um, it was a mix of, I want to talk again. So it was really like, oh, finally. But also it was hard to leave because this is such a peaceful like time where you can reflect, journal, where you have time. You don't have to be like somewhere at an appointment. You don't have to be like, oh, I have to check social media because, yeah, we are all a little bit
Because
socially addicted. So it was both for me because on the one hand, I was grateful for this time and I was like, okay, that's enough for now. Maybe I will try someday, like more days, but that's fine. And on the other hand, I, I was also not sad, but I'm missing these times like there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. And so you got out of Vipassana, and then you said that you started this other journey of yours that I don't really know how to pronounce. So can you please pronounce it and explain what it is?
So my original plan was after, because I did the Vipassana in Thailand, I wanted to go home, but then my inner voice was like, Maggie, your biggest like dream is to go to Rishikesh in India. You're so brave. You did this 3 months of solo traveling for the first time. You have enough money. You have enough time to do it. Go for it, girl. And then I said like, yeah. And I didn't tell anybody, like just my parents, because yeah, it was a big thing for me to come to India.
Just little parenthesis for people that don't know, Rishikesh is considered the heart of yoga in India. Like it's considered where yoga is born, so it's a very special place for a lot of people. I just because I feel like a lot of people don't know. I didn't know personally.
Yeah, it's at the birthplace of yoga. And then I arrived in Rishikesh, and on the first day, I was walking a street and twisted my ankle and started to cry because I was like, no, I wanted to do yoga every day and I wanted to get like all this knowledge from the yoga teachers here. And oh my God. And I was really depressed for like 2 days because it also hurt, of course. But also I was like, oh no, this was my biggest dream. But then again, because I really believe that the universe, if you're open to it and if you listen to the universe, it will send you signs. And it's also about this spiritual awakening. It says that if you start to open to spirituality and to the universe, it will always respond to you. And for me, it's like seeing numbers, like for example, 1111, like it's a sign that you are on the right way. Like these are these angel numbers. And I was looking at my clock and every day, like 1111 or 1616, 1111, 1616. It's like a combination of you're on the right way, but be aware, listen to your inner voice. And so I was like, okay, I'm on the right way. Thank you, universe.
How do you learn about all this?
When I started to see these numbers and signs, I was just Googling it, like ChatGPT, like what is going on? I always see like 11, 11, 16. And then I get this knowledge also out of ChatGPT and everything. Like you can check also there. It's really good for this, also for these kind of topics. Yeah, and then I twisted my ankle and then I met a guy. He's doing this, what you were talking about. It's Reiki.
Reiki, right?
Yeah, Reiki basically means love and the universal energy. So it's a method or a way of like healing, and also you can do Reiki on yourself. It's always the Reiki energy always comes through your hands, like out of the universe, through your body, and then you can give it like to other people or to yourself through your hands. And this is also crazy because your hands also start like getting really warm. My hands were also shaking like the first time I did it because there was such an energy flow suddenly out of my hands. And then you can like start healing parts of your body, or but also to have a look if there is like a block or a trauma somewhere in your body. And it's also about practicing it, so it's not that you're like doing the Reiki training and immediately you can heal, like, your body and after a week you're done. It's doing this training where you receive the Reiki energy from your Reiki teacher. during like a mini ceremony, and then starting like practicing on yourself, and it's beautiful. I'm so happy that I started this. It was not originally my plan. I always knew about Reiki, but when I came to Rishikesh, Reiki also came like to me, you know? I wasn't looking for it. It just like found me. And yeah, I was again like, okay, the universe is giving me these signs. Let's do this. There is no better place to do like a training, like breath work, sound healing, Reiki, I don't know, than Rishikesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now I have the Reiki level 1 and 2, and I can heal or start healing myself, and also after some time start to try healing others. And yeah, I'm really excited for this because I wasn't expecting to do this. So yeah.
You've come along a long way from, your depression and anxiety towards a very spiritual world. What could you say to people that find this a little bit ridiculous or don't believe in this at all, or would say just, what the hell is she talking about?
I can understand that some of these topics are really sound like really almost crazy for people,
Yeah.
and maybe are ridiculous. Like, come on, this is like impossible that this can happen. So my invitation would be like, of course, as everything in life, just to try,
Yeah, be
just to
open.
be like to try being open for it, and then after you try, you can always say like, oh, this is nothing for me, because not everybody, it also depends on your character, on your beliefs, on your, not everyone is made for spirituality, but something like meditation or breath work, maybe like a baby breath work, just to connect with your breath again, like calm your body down. I think these are things that are not that deep. And these are things, in my opinion, everyone can try, and everyone can like adapt in their life. Maybe not every day, but maybe,
Yeah, just to be present.
yeah, just to try and to have like a tool beside of medicine, beside of, I don't know, other things that are more common to try. If you're totally like, I don't want to do this, I don't believe in it, then it's also fine. You will
Yeah.
find your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I look back some years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I was also not open to it.
Yeah, okay.
So it's again a process. You
It's
have
a journey.
yeah, it's a journey. And be curious, and listen to your body, listen to your inner voice, listen to the universe. If it gives you signs, it's a beautiful thing. Don't be afraid. Most of the time, the universe wants good things for you.
Yeah.
So go for it
Aw.
and catch it and believe in it, or be open to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And so I'd say my last question would be, what is what now? What do you want? What's the process? Do you want do are you gonna continue this journey?
Yeah. So I think when I started, especially this trip, this Asian journey, I thought it would be like, yeah, like in the movies, like in Eat, Pray, Love, where I will like be enlightened and knowing, like, get to know the answer very quickly. But of course, my life is no movie, so it's still, I think I'm still at the very beginning of it. And I think that I will, of course, when I go back to reality, um, start teaching yoga again, start to practice Reiki on other people. And then I'm very, very excited what the universe will, like, if the universe will open some other doors, if or if not, then I'm grateful to have these tools and to practice them. And I think like my feeling is telling me that this is not the end of the journey. Like it
This
will
is the
continue.
first
Yeah, this
minutes
is
of the movie.
yeah.
And then you'll have your movie.
Yeah, and also of course practicing my self-worth, my self-love. So yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I wish you the best in this journey.
Thank
And
you.
I'm very happy to meet people like you to get inspired because I feel like, you know, we're all connected in some way. And so maybe for you, you're at the beginning of the journey. For me, I'm maybe at the start.
Yeah, maybe.
And by meeting people, by having conversations, you get directions, you get thoughts, you get emotions. It's been like what, 3 days since you're here, and the last 3 days I have been meditating every morning. I've never done, well, I've done that like one, I did like once or twice in my life, but then I stopped. And here I was like, oh, that's actually a good idea to start my morning like that. And I started doing this again. So it's just, about also being open, as you said, being and getting to know perspectives without judgment or without criticism. So yeah, so thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you also for listening to it. Like,
Of course, that's my pleasure. So thank you for this conversation, guys. If you have any questions, any thoughts about all of this, do not hesitate. I'll put like some links that you all can also share to me, and I'll put your contact if you guys want to just ask her some questions or whatever. As we said, we're all open to that. So, yeah, just take care, follow your own path, your own beliefs, and I hope that you find your way. Thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.
bye.